Okay, what do you think? Ready to get started?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so welcome everyone. I'm Rob Kovach. I'm the CEO of the Jewish Federation. This is the first program sponsored by one of our Chavarot. The Chavara Initiative is a program that we are doing with the Harold Grinspoon Foundation as a way to bring groups of people together who have common interests. And this program is being brought to you by Hebrewly Chavara that brings together Hebrew speakers. And I will turn the program over to Tzila, who is the connector of the Hebrewly Chavara.
Thank you, Kovach. So welcome everyone. I'm happy to see everyone here. I'm very excited to introduce you Kenan Rabino, who is the Vice President of Vision Ventures at the Ted Harrison Family Foundation. And he's going to talk about the Good Doing Deed case study. Vision Ventures includes a number of non-profit ventures, which include, first one is Ruach Tova, meaning good spirit in Hebrew. It's a volunteer center in Israel that connects volunteers to individual and community needs. The second one is the Good Deeds Day, a global day of doing good with 100 participating countries. And the third one is Essence of Life, which aims to raise awareness and provide the tools for inner peace. Kenan also operates a radio station educational learning center at goodnet.org. Kenan has been part of the Ted Harrison Family Foundation since 2003, where he was the CEO of Ruach Tova for 11 years, and most recently, as the Vice President of Vision Ventures. His earliest work involved wedding social consciousness with social action. He has his bachelor's degree in social welfare and a master's in public policy administration for Tel Aviv University. And now, let me present for you Kenan Rabino, on stage.
Thank you very much. So I'm very happy to be here. Thank you for inviting me. Maybe after I finish speaking, you will tell me why it was interesting for you to hear from us here in Israel, from the foundation that I work for. But I believe in this story that I will tell you about the foundation and the things that we do in the foundation. Really a unique story about a businesswoman and philanthropist, Sherry Harrison, that maybe some of you know her from Israel. I'm sure some of you were on her father's carnival cruise that he established in the 70s. So this is the same Harrison family that her father, after a few ventures of businesses in the 70s, established the Carnival cruise line. And from there, they got very wealthy, and they also started the family foundation. What I will say in this presentation, in this discussion, I will show a little about how Sherry built her vision for a business and philanthropist and how she sees the world. And I think it is a unique, I know I work for her and everything, and I know I may a little biased, but I really believe as I see the philanthropic area, I really think that she's very unique in how she saw the things and how maybe she even little saw things before they really happened. So I will share my screen now. Just tell me that you see it, everything okay? Great. Okay, so the doing good or doing good is really the motto of the group of the Harrison Group. So the Harrison Group, you can see here the tree group of the Harrison Group. Sherry Harrison, she's the owner of the group. And under the group, we have three entities. One is Harrison Investment. That's the wealth of the family. They invested, and now we'll talk about a little later. The Doing Good model, a very unique model, value-based, that we'll talk about it also, and the Ted Harrison Foundation. That's a foundation like you know from America. This is an American foundation, sits in America. There's an endowment there that her father put there, and from the interest of this endowment, all the work of the foundation is made, and I will show a few examples in the presentation, in the future of the presentation. 1 minute, sorry. Okay, so what I want to talk about Sherry, because I think you need a little sneak preview about her life. I'm not telling you secrets, don't worry, don't feel uncomfortable. All of this data I'm giving is on her website. I encourage you to go visit the website, very inspiring website about a woman that got into wealth and what she does with it and what's her visions for a better world. So I think it's a very interesting, but it was important for me to put some kind of a baseline of the foundation and the investments that we're doing and where they come from. So after her father established the Carnival Cruise, they're doing very well. They built a foundation in 87, and immediately in 87, her father wanted Sherry to head the foundation. I don't know if all of you know, 91, they did Aliyah to Israel, okay, and they established the foundation in Israel, and today over 90% of the donations from the foundation go back to Israel. And the journey goes now really business and philanthropic together. So you see in business, they're starting, her and her father are starting to buy businesses in Israel. One is Shikuni Binui Solel Boneh in 96. And also, and with that, they're also starting to invest and donate in Israel. So you can say maybe probably the biggest donation for a hospital, for a medical institute in Israel was a donation in 97 to the Ichilov Tower, over $50 million for this hospital. And today it's one of the leading hospitals in Israel with a very high-tech medical services. And as you see in that year, they also bought the bank, the largest bank in Israel, Bank Hapoalim. And this is important to talk about 1 second about the bank. And after that, as you see, she established Matan. So it's like the given way here in Israel. Now, why this is important in 98? Because when she buys the bank, she comes with all the knowledge that you in America mostly know, that businesses, some of their profit, they give back. I don't like so much the word giving back because I don't think the businesses took anything. I like more the word invest in the community as part of the community and their responsibility. So when she comes to the bank and asks them, what is your strategy for investing back in the community? And she was a director after they bought the bank. She became one of the board members. They told her, we don't give back. We only take from the community. We don't give back. And in 98, when she heard that, she said, this cannot be. And she really, and then she established Matan, the given way here in Israel, and really started to invest how business places need to invest back in the community. And this was, today it seems, wow, this is obvious. Who doesn't give back? Target gives 10% from their profit, Walmart, everybody gives back. So today it's very sensible, but in 98, none of the businesses almost in Israel gave back to the community. And when she started this organization, Matan, was very, very significant to the start of the journey of building the philanthropic climate and area and all of the partners together in Israel. As we continue, she donates also to universities, in 2001, she established the Essence of Life. So this is the first vision venture after Matan that talks about inner peace. So it doesn't talk about something tangible like giving money or things like that. It's talking about something inner peace. And her journey of inner peace in 2000 wasn't very common. what today, everybody's talking mindfulness. Everybody's talking about connecting to yourself. But in 2001, it was a little premature, I think, for some of the people in the society. It was hard to get, but you see slowly every year, more and more people are connected to this message of the inner peace. As we continue in 2003, that's when I started to work in the foundation. They adopted the organization Ruach Tova, Good Spirit. It's a national volunteer center that connects between people who want to volunteer to places of volunteering. Mostly today also individuals, but also groups, and also what we call it corporate volunteering. That is, then was a very new idea of a corporate volunteering. Today it's very common, but then it was very new. And as she continued her journey, she writes books about her vision. She gets all kinds of awards. And she buys more companies. Mostly she's buying the companies to make a good impact. So we'll see this in 2008, or let's say, sorry, before that, in 2007, we start the Good Deeds Day. I will talk about a little more because this is one of the vision ventures that spread all over the world. So as a Jewish community, I think, my humble thought about it, that we should be very proud of Good Deeds Day, not because we did it, it's because it came out from Israel. And today, this day is celebrated over 100 countries around the world. And I will talk about it further. But this is really a big thing that started in Israel, a small idea that Sherry said, let's do something to bring more people together. And look what happened from one small idea. And I remember until today, the meeting that we had. And today, over 100 countries, over 4 million people take part in this day. And we'll talk about it in a few minutes. She also established a water company, also very high tech, talking about efficiency, about water. I don't know how you know the world. The world has a lot of water, but the water is not officially moved from place to place, or some of the water is very deep in the ground. So we have abundance of water, but we just need how to manage it and how to supply it. And as we go, you see she buys a company, but also does something and more on the value. That's when we started the Doing Good model, and I will talk about it in a minute, another minute. We continue. She writes books again, gets awards, writing a book about Activate Your Goodness, very important one, gets another award from a George Mason University. And in about 2018, something shifted in Sherry's a strategy, and she decided she doesn't want to hold anymore companies like Bank Hapoalim, Shikun Ubinui, the salt company, or the water company, and she starts selling the companies. And today she doesn't hold any, she's not a majority in any holding in any company. She starts to invest. This is what you see the last thing in 2020. She's starting to explore opportunities in international businesses that bring added value. And this brings me to the next slide understand a little about the investments and how she sees it, and I think this is a short video that will explain it.
For many years, I've been creating visions, all different visions for different companies, different organizations. One day I realized that each vision was like a building block, and together we have a building. Together we have a model. Inner peace is part of doing good. Unity, abundance, giving, volunteering. So everything that we do is part of the doing good vision. From the moment I changed the vision to doing good, everyone became on board. The meaning of doing good is to bring goodness in the world. And I really believe that we all play a part in this. We each need to take responsibility. If we all begin to think good, speak good, and do good, we will create a critical mass of goodness in the world. I started with myself by trying every day to think good, speak good, and do good. In business, I believe that doing good is to bring added value to whatever the business can bring. So if the business is finances, why not bring tools and education to people so they can make better choices? And if it's a water company, why not be efficient so that we can bring more water to the world? And if it's a building company, infrastructure, real estate, why not build it sustainable? I do this in my businesses, but each one can take it into their own field and to find whatever added value they have and to bring that added value out to people, society, and the planet. We've actually proven that when we do good for people, for society, for the environment, we profit as well. We all need to think together what we want our future to be. What do we want our future for our children to be? Do we want to have a kind, respectful, peaceful, harmonious future for all of us? It's in our hands, and if we each take personal responsibility and live by values and resonate those values and implement those values in everything that we do, together we can make a difference.
So before I talk on the model, just talking about the Arison investment. So today the investments are like you see on here on the slide, and also understanding that all the investments today are in companies that give added value to humanity. And today there's a lot of companies. I'm sure some of you are business people here that work in this field, in investments or in high tech or in all kinds. So it's like how electricity, all the green electricity, agriculture, how we bring more food on less land, how we eat, how we water, irrigate all of the soil in a smart way that brings us more food. How do we make all kinds of subsidized, not eating meat, eating other things? Water, how we bring more water from the air, from the sea. So there's so much investments in companies that are doing good. And I know probably some of you, I'm not a businessman, so I'm less in this field, but you know there's a whole stock exchange with good and green companies, and they're doing very, very well because the world, and I think all of us are feeling it from the heat in the last few months and the floods and all of these, that something is happening. If we are not going to change how we behave to our earth, and how do we work in it, and how we build in it, something will go wrong in a lot of years to come. So if we change now things, we can do it. So that's where our investments go today, to these companies. We have a whole staff of people that check these organizations, these companies, see what they give, their value. It's supposed to be a good investment, but also does good to humanity. And it can work together. What was a strange question maybe 20 years ago, how are you good for Mother Earth, or how are you good for the environment? Today is a very common word, and it's very sensible to ask this. So that's Arison Investment and how they changed their way of working, not holding companies, but investing in companies. Like I told you, after a few years of work in 2008, Sherry and the staff of all of the CEOs and the high level management of different companies built this model that's called the Doing Good model. 13 values that we believe, okay, that every company should have and to build a company around them, and each one in the company should embrace these values, that it will be from out to in and from in to out. So as the organization talks to each individual in the company, but each individual has to contribute something from this to outside of the community the organization, the society, and the world. And we believe that believing, and doing these three things can really change the society and the climate that we live in. One second. So some values here, or some elements here, are very common. You'll say, oh, this is not new, we know them. Like volunteering, maybe abundance, financial freedom, that a lot of talking about giving, contributing, but some of them are talking about values and elements that we didn't maybe all that time thinking about, like what's our added value for humanity, vitality, how important that not only the person feels vitality, and I think after the 2 years of a corona, we can more understand the word vitality and how important it is. Remember the 2 years that we have when we had the closures and everything, how we felt maybe not very useful and not the best feeling. This is so important that we don't have these feelings, to feel vitality, to feel that I'm part of something that is going and living and contributing something to the society. We're all one. Now, it doesn't mean that we don't have competition, but in the end, we're all one. And I think, again, I'm sorry I'm giving again the example of the corona, but it didn't help if all United States will get vaccinated if nobody in Germany gets vaccinated, because then one German person goes to United States and then everybody gets. The all one, I think, the corona really brought us together to all one. We can see now with the war in Ukraine, okay, how what's happening there is influencing the gas, our fuel, our food, only because of war in Ukraine. I don't know if any of you, maybe some of you don't know even where Ukraine is on the map, but still what's happening there influences us. That's what, because we're all one. And this is another thing to understand and to work in the mindset we're all one, I think will help us not to step on toes one each other, and maybe to also partnerships for the greater good. Sustainability, we know a lot of people talking about this. This is a trend word in the last 10 years, how to be more sustainable, and inner peace that Sherry talked about already in 2000, but today we know there's a lot of mindfulness in working places, and how it's important in inner peace when you come to a place. And this is, again, think about, I see some of your parents. I can see it from how your house is looking and maybe some of the ages. How important that we come back from work and we're all stressed out because I don't know what, we fought with a worker, we needed to fire someone, we don't know. There wasn't a good day at work. And we come home, I know, and the kid does the smallest thing, just wanted to make me laugh, and when I burst out. If you come, before you get to the door, you park the car in the garage, you take a minute in the car, try to put all what happened this day in work, put it aside, take a few breaths, and come in clean to the house. That's inner peace. Finding the moment that you're in peace with yourself and you're in a new place. And if we teach this now, the workers, the employer, when they come to a meeting, everybody 1 second, let's take a breath, let's take a minute, let's get focused on what we want in this meeting, what is our goal in this meeting. Believe me, and I do it a lot with my team, it looks different. Everybody puts everything beside, all the Excel sheets, what happened, things like that. Everybody's focused. And language and communication. We always say a word can, kill a person. We know it today through the social networks and everything. How important is language? One of the things that Sherry a lot of time disputes me when I say, we're going with all force on, we're going like this, going strong and things. It's just why you're in a fighting mode. So I'm not in a fighting, I'm all like thrilled that we're going to get more countries and good deeds there. We're getting more volunteers. I'm so happy. So she said, just change your language, because when you're like this in a fighting mode, that's your energy. And this energy doesn't bring people to you, makes other people scared from you. So changing language, small word here, a smile there, can change the whole approach. How do you approach businesses and how do you approach other people in your workplace? And I believe you can take it also to your family and friends. Another one I want to talk about is being. Oh, sorry. About being. Sometimes we're not being. And I think everybody knows this example. We sit on a Shabbat table, we sit in a restaurant. A lot of people are on the phone. We're not there. I know a lot of time we say, oh, I can do two things. I can read an article and listen. Just to tell you, the brain cannot do two things. I'm sorry, it's not, you cannot do it. It means that you're 20% here, 80% there, or 20 here and 80 there. You're never 100%. You're never 100% in your being. And being in your being, when you're there, the other person is also there. That's the investment. And it's so important now, I'm taking it to the workplace. When you're here, be with me. When you're in talking with a coworker, don't type an email and talk with the coworker. The coworker feels this, and I know you're a busy person, but take a second, take the 2 minutes, be with him, focus, and then go back to the keyboard. And the being also is understanding what is our company doing, what's our being, and how does it affect. And as you go into this circle, you'll see more and more values, like I said, 13 values, okay? That you can take some of them, all of them, but I believe if you talk these values, these elements in your company, but I believe also in your personal life, things can change. I'll finish with fulfillment. How much of each of one of us wants to be fulfilled in his workplace, also in his family, and in his private life, and how many times that we need to say, "Go fly." I always give this example. In 2009, I had a worker. He was the Good Deeds Day is becoming big. I had the logistic manager. His name was Shai. And and Good Deeds Day then is really big. It's about 50,000 people taking part in Israel. We have a logistic warehouse. We have trucks going all over, spreading all of the materials they need to paint, do gardens, things like that. So we have this whole thing for 3 months. People are going probably worth of 2 million shekels. Let's say $500,000 worth of equipment going all over Israel. And I have this logistic person, Shai, taking care of this. He comes a month before he finished, before the Good Deeds Day on February. Good Deeds Day was on March, and he says, Kenan, I found my dream work. You know, I'm a musician. I know he was a musician. He said, I got to manage one of the biggest bars in Tel Aviv, their music platform there, live shows, anything. This is what I want to do. What can we do? I have to leave my job. And I said, you know, Shai, I know this is your dream. Go. I'll find someone. I'll take the responsibility. I'll find somebody else. If not, we'll do it. But try never to stand in front of your worker or your child, friend, and your private life from a person to fulfill his destiny, to fulfill what he thinks he needs to be. I can tell you, Shai, almost 20 years after, is one of the biggest producers here in Israel, does a lot of festivals, and I'm so happy that I was willing then to tell him, go, be happy, I'll find a way. And I really encourage you to do that also with your also in your private life with family, but also with your workers. Oh, no, these red lines. So this was on the investments and the doing good model. So now we're going to the third part. So that's the Ted Arison Family Foundation. And I think this is a very unique foundation. I know you probably know a lot of foundation from America. You already said the Greenspan is sponsoring this one. So you know a lot of foundation. What's different about this foundation than other foundations? But first, one thing I told you in the start, more than 90% of the funds go to Israel. Okay, this is a decision that the family did. And the other thing is that the foundation has about 70% of the money is donations. Like, you know, we can give 5,000 for an NGO and we can give 50 million to a hospital. So this is the range of the donations. So 70% of the foundations go to donations, grants, and 30% goes to the Vision Venture. And why is this unique? Because you don't have a lot of foundations that there are organizations under the foundation that does the work. Now, why this is important? Because the Ted Arison Family Foundation says we're taking responsibility on a vision that we had. So if Sherry Arison thought that Inner Peace will help people, companies, and private people, she established an organization to help that. And today, Essence of Life has a radio station, has a visitor center, and has a website. When Sherry Arison thought that more volunteers can make society better, she adopted Ruach Tova, Good Spirit, as a volunteer center and invested in it, and it's part of the group today. And when she thought that if we encourage people to do a good deed in their man, it's not only a one-day thing. It's talking about doing a good deed as a daily routine for all your life and every day. When she thought that's a good idea, she said, okay, I'm investing now in this day and I'm doing this thing. It's a little different from other foundations. I'm not saying it's better or worse. It's not. Just other foundations, sometimes they find a third party maybe to do it. Here, they took responsibility on the vision. And we have more Vision Venture like Artport, a residency for emerging artists in Israel, so that we have a gallery, they have internship with us, and like I said, Essence of Life and Good Spirit, and we have something around social cohesion and something around educational program for schools to how do we create change. We call it Design for Change. So we have all of these things under the foundation that took responsibility to move this forward. And I think that's what's very unique in this foundation. And I like it because it's not all, it's like talking the talk. So something is important, do it. So this is the Ted Arison Foundation. And like I told you, these are the different Vision Ventures of the foundation. Mahuti, just to explain, that's the center of Essence of Life. It's open, so if one of you, it's open all the year. So if some of you come to Israel, we'll be happy to greet you there. Like I say, the radio, Artport, the residency, and you see here. And the last one is GoodNet, but I'll talk about it in a second. The second came, GoodNet. When Sherry talks a lot about how do we inspire people, because we believe that if we inspire the people, if we bring them ideas how to do good, inspire them to do good, they will be good. I don't think a person is a bad person. Nobody was born as a bad person. That's my belief. But we need to encourage people to do good. And how do we encourage them? First, we inspire them, show them how to do it, and I think also make it fun. So GoodNet is a vision venture that we established in 2012. And you can go into it today. You have the URL on the screen. It brings different stories from around the world, again, to inspire you to do good. Again, this is a website that over 500,000 people a month come into it. Started here in Israel. So if any one of you saw it before and thought, oh, this is great, GoodNet, be proud, this is from Israel. And people go into the different categories and the different articles almost 2 a day in this website, and to inspire you to do different things. I don't know if you knew, I thought about this, the new doll comes in, and I don't know if you saw this woman, and she took care of chimpanzees in Uganda. It was like a big shot on these chimpanzees. There was the chimpanzees, that the gorillas that talked also with sign language and everything. And Barbie, you know, Barbie mostly gives like pretty women or women that don't exist in the world, but they did a Barbie on her. And I think, again, a good inspiration for girls, that you can grow up and not only use lipstick and other things, but you can be also anthropology and working with animals and things like that. So I think that's a great connection between Barbie and this great woman. And the last thing, and probably the one of the biggest ones, and that we're very proud in the foundation and in the group and Sherry, is the initiative, the Sherry about Good Deeds Day. So I'll show you a short movie and then I'll talk about it.
Ready to make a difference? There's a simple idea that inspires millions of people worldwide to do good for the benefit of others. Good Deeds Day, a global movement of doing good deeds. From New York to China, and from Brazil to Uganda, people of all cultures and backgrounds unite to do good on one day, every year. By offering a flower to a stranger, or a cup of coffee to a coworker, by distributing food to the needy, sprucing up neighborhoods, or just making someone smile. Good Deeds Day connects good people with good causes.
I believe that if we all think good, speak good, and do good, the circles of good will grow in the world.
And when there's a good thing going on, world leaders and innovative companies join in to amplify the impact. The media loves it. ABC Network and MTV International partnered to help spread the message of Good Deeds Day on their online and TV platforms, as well as leading stations around Asia, South America, the USA, and Europe, reaching millions worldwide.
Good Deeds Day.
Today is Good Deeds Day.
Changing the world one good deed at a time.
It's time to make the world a better place. You just pay it forward, and it's like a snowball rolling downhill.
With so many countries and good people involved in one day, Good Deeds Day motivates change and creates meaningful impact. Good Deeds Day. Together, we can create positive change in the world.
So that's Good Deeds Day in a nutshell. Like I told you, it's an idea that started in 2007 when we thought how to bring more people together. How do we bring more people into the circles of doing good? How do we bring more people into volunteering? And we believe that the notion of doing good, a low threshold, coming into the world of doing good, maybe some of them will continue to volunteer, that's taking responsibility and taking a commitment. So maybe some will continue, but if not, they will stay in the doing good level, that's great. I always give this example. If your neighbor is struggling on food issues, because he cannot buy, he doesn't have enough money for food or for good food to buy, okay? I think you as a neighbor, the first thing, you need to help them. Here, I made a soup, I give you some. I made too many schnitzels, I'll give you some schnitzels. No problem. The other phone call can be to a food bank or a different NGO, or I don't know what. But the first instincts that I want that each person will have is, how can I help? This is the first thing that I want people to be in their mindset. And this is why we started the Doing Good. It's celebrating one time a year. This year it will be in the 16th of April. It's mostly in April. It moves because of the holidays. A lot of Jewish communities take part. I don't know if your Jewish community also takes part, but a lot of Jewish communities take part. If I'm not mistaken, the last count was about 60 Jewish communities around America. But this is not a Jewish day or an Israeli day. We're very proud it's from Israel. We're telling everybody it came from Israel, but it's not a Jewish or Israeli day. It's an international day. And today we are over 100 countries around the world, Latin America, Africa, Asia, Europe, a lot of countries. And you can see how the simple idea of doing good, it's a concept that's in every country and culture it understands it. The concept, you see, it's happy. We're not talking about something like takes you down. It's a happy thing. We do it as big events or small events in the community. And how do we show to the new people, this is what's talking about doing good. This is so easy. Join us. Okay, and the people that are doing good already, we celebrate it together. So this is something that we're very proud of, and we'll continue to do it as we go forward. I just was in Orlando 2 weeks ago in a conference of Points of Light, one of the organizations that leads NGOs in the volunteer sector in the United States. We showcased also their Good Deeds Day. We're their affiliates here in Israel. So it's really about connection, partnerships, and how to bring more good into the world. So that was, in a nutshell, or in 40-minute nutshell, about Sherry Arison, the Arison Group, and the foundation, and to show how, in the end, one woman with a vision, okay, as a philanthropic and as a businesswoman, can really move her business and a philanthropic to change the world. Because in the end, if everybody contributes something, the world will change in the end. Thank you very much for having me. If you have any questions or things like that.
Thank you very much. Kenan, you asked me why I brought this lecture. So I think it's the reason. First, I like Sherry Arison agenda. I believe that, to spread goodness to the world. So it's very important. So even few people, I think it's also enough. And that's amazing. Thank you. Thank you very much so much.
See, if there will be two people, I will talk.
No, I'm not talking about these people. There's a spread, to spread it. So,
this is my job. I spread the world of doing good. Doesn't matter who is listening. I'm here.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Not because I'm Sila's husband, but I very much enjoyed the presentation, and it's a very important message, particularly with what we're experiencing today. So I think it's wonderful, and I hope the word spreads far and wide, because it's great.
Thank you very much. Again, if anyone from this talk has a connection, has a partnership, has something that maybe can connect to the things that I'm doing, I'll be more than happy to explore it. I personally and the group are big believers of partnerships. We only believe like that we can work. Nobody has the strength by itself to do everything. And only if we partner together, we can we can get great results. So I'm totally for partnerships. So if someone here has an idea, I'll be happy. I put my email there. Tzila has my email, my WhatsApp. Feel free to connect with me. I'm more than happy.
Sure. Okay. Someone else? Okay, so I think it's late for you in Israel.
Oh, okay.
So I wish you good night.
Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you very much.